Retest. Testing 1, 2, 3. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, there we go. Whew. All right, open up YouTube Studio. We got that. Allow. Get started. Content. Ooh, 25 views, surprisingly. How do I even check to see if like something's live? All right, let's go back to YouTube. All right, so there may be horrible echo-ness going on, but I just really need to make sure that I can hear what the heck is going on. All right, so hit the volume. All right, that's great. I'm monitoring this on. We're good. All right, guys, listen. OnePlus Open 13, brand new phone. Loving it. All right, I'm just gonna leave this over here just in reference to what we're kind of talking about today. Not to say that Surface Duo is the greatest phone. If we're really talking about phones that are foldable, well, there are a few that we need to talk about in here. Love to just keep my OnePlus over here or something, like just to play the game. So we'll leave the OnePlus in here. Not to say anybody's even watching me. And eventually, if I'm smart about this, I should be able to get into YouTube, into the chat, just to play around. Okay, we'll go into my, yep, right here. Let's see, I'm gonna pause everything. Pause everything right here, and all right, now we're chatting the old school way. Hello. If anybody actually decides to come in, please don't leave. Okay, I'm gonna leave this kind of like over here, just so I can check out the comments down below. All right, let's see if I can get this stuff out of the way. Yeah, there we go. All right, we're gonna move this over here. We don't need an air tag in here. And we'll leave that there. All right. So if we're really like talking about the Surface Duo, and this is what you guys are coming with for this video, right? Surface Duo in 2025. We really want to like talk about one thing. I can't really program too well, so I'm definitely not at a point in my life where I could upgrade this onto Android 15 or even try to get it into Windows 11, which I would love to do that. And there are plenty of websites that are capable of doing this. Unfortunately, I am just not one of those people that know how to do that yet, and I'll get there. I know I will. All right. On that note, if we're really looking at 2020, right? In 2020, Microsoft came out, right, and they introduced like this coolest two devices, the Surface Duo and the Surface Neo, right? And you know, we saw the one of the CEOs of Microsoft showing this phone, saying how thin it was. And at that time, remember, this wasn't even really an option to be on any phone. Like this more is kind of like being able to be paired with the Duo 2. But I'm really going to talk to you about this because you can use this with the Surface Duo. And just because the magnets on the phone, this wasn't really designed to hold the Surface Slim Pen, but it does. It doesn't charge it, but it will hold it. So it's pretty cool there. Got a little smiley face with my Ugreen 100-watt charger. You got to pick up one of these cables on Amazon, guys, for like less than 20 bucks. Nice and braided, nice and long, 100 watts. And you get a little smiley guy. Anyway, I know you guys are here for the Surface Duo, so we're going to talk about Surface Duo in 2025. D-brand skin, I think this was, or some type of skin on Amazon. Nice little pearly white. Phone does look brand new. I've owned the Surface Duo 3 times in my life. First time when it came out, I was like, wow, this is a pretty cool phone. The one big downfall that I had was when we were looking at reviewers, nobody actually like showed the screen opening. So like when they were able to open it, but literally when all the reviewers were there, they weren't allowed to turn this phone on at all. So we couldn't even get to see what this screen was when reviewing. And right then and there, that kind of gave me a little, like my spider sense was there. Like absolutely crazy, but yeah, definitely spidey sense was there. And it was as if, unfortunately, something was kind of up with this device. But in saying that, I have to say one thing. If we're really going to look at this device still in 2025 as being a folding device, right? This is absolutely the thinnest foldable device ever made and still made today. Why do I say that? Because look, we have the Samsung's most up-to-date phone besides that like fan edition that never came out in the US. If we were to compare how thin this phone is to this phone, you can definitely see this one's a chunky boy compared to this. Not to say we can't really compare these two phones because this, it has a full screen here, it's got a full screen there. It does have tablet support as well. And that's why, unfortunately, I don't feel that there is any other competitor still for the Surface Duo than the Samsung Z Fold 6, right? Or Z Fold 5, or at that time, I think it was the Z Fold 4. Again, things have continued to get upgraded. Hopefully, when we see the Z Fold 7, I'm hoping I get a bigger screen. We get a thinner one, as well as a nice little, stylus integration into the phone. They can do it. It's thin enough now. On that note, then if we're really going to look at maybe one of the competitors, it'd probably be really competing, trying to say, okay, this is more like the Surface Duo. Well, you have the Pixel Fold as well as Pixel Fold 9. Okay, now these phones, compared to even, the Microsoft Surface Duo, you can see it is much thinner, but it's still a little thicker than the Surface Duo. But I think this is probably, at least in the US, the phone that's competing to be okay. Maybe someone who owns a Surface Duo 1 or Duo 2, this is where we'd be upgrading. Again, you get that front camera, that front facing screen, as well as really decent cameras built in. On that note though, we're not really talking about this device as a folding phone device. This is a foldable tablet. It's a PDA. It's a personal data assistant device. It's still there, even though we don't have any more security updates through Android. It's running Android 12L. I don't think any other phone in the world right now is running that. So I think it's probably as secure as it can be and still being able to use. On that note, if we're really looking at this phone, dual screen glass, dual screen phone, you have fingerprint sense reader, and for what it was in 2020, I think personally, it's a great phone. Really do feel that this is a great phone, dual screen wise, and it's more of a, back in the day, if you're old enough to know what a Palm Pilot is, this is probably like a Palm Pilot on steroids. I do feel that this phone still, to this date, out surpasses any foldable phone just because of the thinness. Again, when I first bought this phone, not really understanding what it was, you got to be very careful with this phone because the durability is crazy. I dropped the phone and I actually broke one of the plastic pieces from the hinge, able to replace it, no questions asked. That note, at this time, I bought the 512 gigabyte version of the phone. It was like $1,600 back then, a lot of money in 2020. And I just decided, look, I can't afford a phone of this stature. So I did return it. Then what happened? Within a few months, people were getting bad reviews of it, and it dropped down to like $900. Then it dropped down to $600, and Best Buy was actually selling this phone with, oh my God, those Microsoft Buds that look like giant golf balls in your ear. I can't remember what the heck they were called. For a deal, you were able to get this phone for like $700. I think with extra bumpers as well as those Microsoft Buds. So again, I bought it. Looking at it though, at that time, said, okay, financially, I can't afford a phone this expensive. So again, I returned it. Now, looking into 2022, because I've owned this phone now for 2 years, I bought it on Amazon for like $250. It was the AT&T locked version. There are two versions of this phone. There's the unlocked version and there is the AT&T version. Sadly, the AT&T version does not have eSIM capabilities. All right. So this phone here, which is an AT&T, only has one SIM card built into it. It's a physical SIM card. It's a 4G phone. Just remember 4G LTG, but it does not have an eSIM. Okay, so if you're even gonna try and find one of these to buy like on Amazon right now, depending on how much it is, that AT&T version, one physical SIM, no eSIM. You want to try and find an unlocked version. That's a factory unlocked version. This one's the 256 gigabyte version. When I bought it, man, did I find out quickly that I made a mistake. Because the unlocked version means that you need to run AT&T's service for 12 months straight out, okay? I know you could probably do postpaid and they might be able to unlock it quicker, but everybody's saying, oh yeah, you could unlock them. As of right now, the only way one of these that you buy that's AT&T locked is you're gonna have to like have service for a year. And every single month for that year, I emailed AT&T. I just kept on them for a very long time. talking to them about unlocking this device, they said, no, it's Microsoft's deal. No, it's AT&T's deal. Eventually, what happened once I got a prepaid card, I think I paid for a full year. It's still a service. I think it's like $300 a year. Really straight out unlimited data and all that. And that's where I was able to get this um, lovable, phone for $250, and I was able to get it unlocked. Took me over a year to get this unlocked. But again, I was able to get it unlocked through AT&T. If you guys are thinking about buying an AT&T version, you're going to have to get some type of service through AT&T to get this phone unlocked. That's the only way. I tried. I looked at reviews. People are saying this. It's not true. That is the only way that you will be able to get this phone unlocked. Again, though, if we're really looking now, though, at this Surface Duo, and it's the first Surface Duo, loving this phone. Slim Pen is, well, when it's charged, you can definitely connect this to, the Surface Duo. You can use it just like the Surface Duo 2. Slim Pen here, we have this. The big deal with this is with the Slim Pen, we get to take notes, right? And that's like the big, absolute big deal with this phone, right? Being able to, write notes just like that Samsung phone, Guys, I'm going to be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. Again, right, the main reason why we got the Surface Duo, you get the Slim Pen. At that time, the Slim Pen wasn't even out when this introduced. We still had the, Microsoft Pen, that little rounded one. But you know what? It's nice that you're able to use this. Again, the Slim Pen with the Surface Duo. It has that technology just like a regular Surface. Big things, though, that you really want to take a good look about is that Copilot now is out through Microsoft, and Copilot is definitely something that will work on this phone, as well as like ChatGPT. So, once you have that Copilot app, and it's actually built into Microsoft Edge now, if I'm not mistaken. So Microsoft Edge, which Copilot's built into, is definitely there. I think there's now an app instead of the Microsoft Edge. But if we weren't in there, again, I haven't used this for a while, so why don't we go in here? We're going to load up Copilot on here. Again, it's been a while since I've used this phone as a daily driver, but it's absolutely phenomenal. Best things to use for this: Zoom calls are crazy. Copilot, 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 Microsoft Copilot. Okay. So again, I think Copilot's been, again, I know I had it logged in here, but Copilot in reality has been a Microsoft app. So if we go into here, we can talk to Copilot.
Hey, Tim, I'm here and ready to chat. What's on your mind this afternoon?
Hey, can you tell my viewers a little bit about the Surface Duo devices?
Sure thing, Tim. The Surface Duo devices are Microsoft's sleek dual-screen smartphones. They've got two separate displays that work together, offering a unique...
All right, so like if, again, having Copilot built into there, honestly, I really do feel that just having the Copilot stuff, again, straight out going with Kindle devices, this is probably still one of the best Kindle devices that you will ever have on any type of device in here. Just go to going right to one of our books. It's really simple. It's nice. Looks like a foldable paged book, and when you're flipping, it's crazy that it's a really slim device that has, two screens that you're able to work on, and you're able to use that, So I mean, probably one of the biggest downfalls of this device, though, is the fact that it doesn't have a screen on the front. So like if you were to use this more like a cell phone, you are going to have a little problem just because you can't really see notifications on it. But at that time, Microsoft's big thing was, okay, we're going to use this phone, and if you flip it backwards this way, you'll be able to use it as a phone, where the little headset volume's there, the microphone thing's there, and you're able to, call people out on there, and you can put this part right here on your ear. Other big dilemmas that they didn't have is that this only has one camera. It's got a front-facing camera. So like even using the camera, it's kind of a little weird, if you want to call it weird, but nah, it's legit weird. I mean, we have this front-facing camera here, but if you tap on here, right, if you tap twice here, where did that camera go? See? And still, to this day, has glitched like crazy. Just even seeing this, it seems as though it's glitching out me just trying to find the camera. All right. Tap it twice, then we can get that camera going. If can try and flip this way. Yeah, see, camera's not playing nice right now too. This is weird. Usually we can get that camera going, but it seems as though since whatever last update, I've had some, I guess they've integrated some more glitches into it. But if we put it full front on here, and then, well, here, right, you're taking pictures, you got your face photos, you got that. If what I want, though, is to switch out the camera, for some reason, it should be able to, there we go, right? All right, so now if I have this here, we can take video this way, right? And we can take our photos this way, and your panoramic, and all of that over here, your video and your slow-mo, and on that. But again, this is just fairly basic camera. It was a good camera in 2020, but it wasn't like the most awesomest camera like put out. But for the type of device this was in 2020, I don't think anybody's ever seen it. I still think for having a foldable phone, the thinness is where everybody should be striving for, even though it's not made of metal. I think really if they could get a device now that has a folding screen this thin and maybe a screen on the front, really have the most decent type of foldable device. And personally, to me, I'm really calling this more of a device that has two screens. This isn't a foldable device, it's a dual screen device, all right, that has pretty cool options on it to this date. And it's one of a kind. There is no other type of device out there that has ever been made that looks like this. Also pretty cool to like do game emulations. You can use Microsoft Xbox Cloud, right? Because they built the app towards this for playing video games on this device. On that note, though, unfortunately, we do not have any security patches for this phone anymore. We don't have any updated stuff for this phone besides, you know, apps through the App Store. And at some point, I think maybe Google will stop supporting it. But the nice thing about this phone, as of right now, 12L this is the only phone that has 12L. So I don't think like Google is gonna just do away with upgrading, you know, Play Store apps for a while. On that note, though, with this phone, you know, I'll take it out once in a while, I think, and just look at it and hope that, you know, someday maybe Microsoft will decide to come out with another device similar to this, or even maybe come out with that Surface Neo that they never did. But for now, just looking at that, I think personally my updated phone, even though it doesn't have a stylus, is definitely the Google Pixel 9 Fold. Decent phone. It's the thin factor. It doesn't feel like I'm carrying a folding phone. Kind of feels like I'm carrying a full-sized phone that can fold out. Where here, this phone here, I'm carrying a foldable phone that can fold into a tablet. For me, though, I think this is probably the most Surface Duo looking type of device. I just wish Google would have some type of stylus integration for the next version of this phone, because I love this phone. I think this phone here is probably going to be, like, this phone here could be that Surface Duo update. On that note, guys, though, again, I do appreciate it. I just figured I'd, you know, pop out an updated video towards the Surface Duo this year, being 2025. And, you know, understanding that this is probably ahead of its time from 2020. A very advanced piece of technology. I know reviewers didn't love this phone. This is probably one of the most worst phones, too, that a lot of reviewers have stated. But again, this is probably one of, like, this one is actually a phone that I'm going to keep until the batteries disintegrate and the plastic melts, becomes rubberized, because it's a useful, to me, personal data device where I can take notes, I can do calendar things, I can still use Outlook on it, I can still take Zoom call meetings on it. Pretty decent phone for me. What do you guys think? I know I've done some previous videos, and usually there's a lot of people that are talking about it. It stinks that a lot of people aren't doing more videos again in 2025 for the Surface Duo. Get that hype up. Hopefully Microsoft might pull out another phone again. But sadly, on this note, guys, I think I've kind of taken up everybody's time. We're going almost on like 30 minutes now for this. What do you guys think? Please write down in the comments below. Tell me how you feel about the Surface Duo. Is this phone like it's time to just like recycle it, or is it a keeper still in 2025? Thanks again, and this is Consumer Compute. And if you haven't already, please give me a thumbs up. I'm looking towards also, you know, growing the channel more. So if you haven't subscribed yet and you were watching, please thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video, guys.